And more than 26,000 migrants in Mexico are being welcomed to the U.S. under a policy change by President Biden.
Not a better person. You're a worse person than the people who wouldn't vote for Joe Biden because you don't really give a shit. You only voted for Joe Biden because it made you feel like a better person. But you didn't bother to get to know what they're going to do, what they did do, and what's going to happen and what is happening. You don't give a shit. It's happening right now. How about the executive producer of The Simpsons, Dana Gould, who came at me on Twitter about this? That you're a shitty person if you don't vote for Joe Biden because of the immigrants in cages. And I had to explain to the executive producer of The Simpsons that the cages were built by Joe Biden and Barack Obama. And here they are. I don't see the executive producer of The Simpsons tweeting about the border anymore.
You know, it's really weird how people disappear all of a sudden. And for the people that are new to my channel and that are new to Shame on News, you got to understand that I'm not left-wing, I'm not right-wing. I'm an independent person who calls out everything. When Donald Trump did something bad, I'll call it out. When the Democrats do something bad, I'll call it out. When the Republicans do something bad, we'll call it out. I'll call it all out if you want to, and we'll have a discussion based on your opinions out there. But the fact of the matter is, Joe Biden said, come to the country. Come on in, surge the border. Come on to the border. Everybody should be allowed in. And then all of a sudden his tune changed when he got elected to become the president of the United States. But nobody cares to talk about that. And I've noticed most of my Democratic friends, it's very frustrating to be an independent person, by the way. It's very frustrating to be an independent person. And I do apologize to all the sane Democrats out there and to all the sane Republicans out there that you have to hear me bash your parties. But, it's hard to be an independent person because the right-wing people will call you a snowflake and all these other things if you don't take the right position, even though I typically hate the snowflake people. And the other problem is if you call stuff out like this to the liberal people that you're friends with, they pretend like they no longer care about politics. That's what I've noticed. All of my friends who are liberal or Democrat now either don't care about politics anymore, or they say they're sick of hearing about politics, or they just get angry and start talking about how bad Trump was. So because Trump bad, anything you bring up now about anything currently doesn't matter because Trump bad. I mean, we are dealing with an infantile type of babyism amongst our society that I don't think we've ever seen. We're still having, in my opinion, we still have very narrow-minded people on the right who don't care about many people's feelings, thoughts, and empathies. They don't have that empathy. But then you have some very sick people towards the left side of things who will just vote for emotional things, and in reality they're voting for bigger evil than they realize, or more evil people. They just don't understand. And now Kamala Harris is telling people, don't come to the country. So now Kamala Harris goes, and now they're getting heat. They're finally getting heat. Because they went to Guatemala, and the Guatemala people don't like them. By the way, have you guys noticed this, that the rest of the world hates the Biden people and everything? I mean, they hated Trump too, like no doubt about it. People hate Trump as well, or laughed at us about it. But they also, the actual people in Guatemala and these countries are like, you guys are assholes. But nobody talks about that. It's very strange. Don't come to the country.
I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come.
Now she just called Donald Trump racist for this same thing. And again, unfortunately, people out there that listen to this all you'll do is get angry that, you must support the right more than the left. And the left people think that I support the right more than the left, and the right people think I'm supporting the left more than the right. I think you're both assholes, okay? Let's just be honest. So the fact of the matter is, Kamala Harris called Donald Trump basically a racist for this same thing that now she is doing. And she has to do it. Why does she have to do it? Because now they see the real problem. because they already got your vote by saying, you're right, they couldn't just say, Donald Trump has some points about this, but we can handle it better. They didn't say that. They said, Donald Trump's clearly a racist. He's crazy. This is all backwards. You should be able to just come in and that's it. And now all of a sudden it's, oh, wait, don't come in. We have a problem. But we still haven't visited the border yet. We still haven't visited the border or gone down to the border. We're just going to yell from over here, don't come. And as you heard Jimmy Dore, by the way, calling out the fact that they literally built the cages. They're the ones that built the cages. Donald Trump inherited the cages and the bad conditions that Obama and Biden caused. I don't think Trump handled it the best either, right? Because there is no real great way to handle it, but there's you can improve and make it better. But telling people to come on into the country and, we'll give you asylum is a big mistake when you already have a crisis. For the last 15 years, it's been really bad. And now you tell people, come on in. It's the same irresponsibility like Trump did at the Capitol when he was like, well, I'll be down there with you when we go down there, which I understand is not a call to break into the Capitol and attack the Capitol. It was a rally cry, so to speak, which is wishy-washy. But if I was the president, I would have not said, let's go down there and have a rally and I'll be at the Capitol with you. I wouldn't have done that, but that's me. Just like if I was Biden and Kamala Harris, I wouldn't be telling people, come on in, you give asylum and like, whoa. Like, that's ridiculous. Let's look at
Okay. Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point,
at some point.
we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
No, she hasn't. And also, by the way, throwing her hands up like she did, I'm wicked good at reading people 100%. That throwing her hands up is she's frustrated by this question, and she absolutely does not want to do it. That's what that means. Anybody basic, like any ability to read physical, like appearance or gestures can tell.
We've been to the border. So
We've been to the border. No, we haven't. We've been to the border. Whenever she does that stuff is like, that's when she's lying the most.
This whole thing about the border.
Why don't you go lock up some more black people? How about that? Maybe you can go back to California and lock up some more black people. Maybe you can go lock up some more black people who smoke too much weed, so you want to lock them up. Huh, Kamala? Or Kamala, or whatever the fuck your name is, married to a white guy. Why don't you go ahead and lock some more black people up? Maybe you don't like this interviewer because he's too black for you. Maybe we need to get a person who's white to speak to you. You're a psycho.
Into the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
But you just said we've been to the border, but she got away with it because the way she's wording it is cute. We've been to the border. What does we've meant? We don't know what we've meant. We've could have meant that, Joe Biden's been to the border years ago when he was with Obama. We've been to the border could be the American presidents and stuff have been to the border. It could have been she was at the border 8 years ago. I don't know what that means. So
I don't understand the point that you're making.
I don't understand the point you're making. Oh, really? You're a fucking idiot, huh? I didn't know that Kamala Harris is admitting she's a fucking idiot. Let me answer the question. Let me pretend I don't want to go to the border. And he asked me this question. Because she just said she doesn't understand what he's asking. And remember, this is a liberal guy, allegedly. One of her own team members. And she can't even answer him.
And I haven't been to Europe. And
okay, we're not talking about Europe. And I haven't been to Europe. Okay, we're not talking about Europe. We're talking about the United States border. That's one of the first things that I would want to see myself. Can I be honest? If I was the president of the United States, hell, even right now I'm concerned because there are children there. I don't care what the hell happened. I don't care if their parents are garbage and they came here and they made a mistake. I don't give a crap. Those children don't deserve to be treated like crap. I don't care how bad their parents are, and I don't care if it's not our job to take care of them. It may be our job to help because that's wrong. But it's also not our job to just welcome in a bunch of criminals or a bunch of everybody, even good people. We got to do it the right way. We need to be able to welcome people into the country the right way, but we also need to be able to humanely take care of them even if we are sending them back. We should pride ourselves on being amazingly humane. Even though these people are criminals or migrants or illegal, we should pride ourselves on that, especially when it comes to the kids. We need to be the better person, even though they're doing something wrong, potentially. But Kamala Harris can't, she has no fucking idea. She's just like, oh, I don't know.
I don't understand the point that you're making.
Okay. He's asking you a question. He's not trying to make a point. He's asking you a question for the American people, because that's actually, I can't believe it. Oh, my God. He's doing reporting? Oh, my God. He's asking a question that people are interested in. Unbelievable. She doesn't know what to do, because for the last 6 months or 4 years, it's been Orange Man bad. Get him out at any cost. You know, we'll say anything. Here, we love you, whoever is running against him. Because we need to get the NWO and the deep state back in charge of the country, which we seem to have here. Let me go back to the question. Let's answer it.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
Do you have any plans to answer the border? I'm going to pretend I don't want to go. I'm going to pretend it's bad for me to go and all kinds of stuff. Do I have any plans to go to the border? Well, right now, the border has many things about it that need to be fixed from previous administrations, and we're always learning at this point. There have been things that have been done wonderfully, but there are also things being done that just absolutely need to change, and we are changing them, and we will be changing them. So when you come up with specific scenarios, I'd need to know what those are. But right now, we're going over those specific scenarios, from reuniting parents with their children to the facilities, the cleanliness, to the way people are treated, to some of the issues we're seeing with cartels and other things. There are so many instances I could spend an hour telling you about it. But me being at the border isn't going to help at all. In fact, me being at the border sometimes is a bigger distraction. What needs to happen is we need to come up with these strategies about the border and to fine-tune it to where it works out for everybody, to where we can accept immigrants from another country legally the right way into the country, but we can also deter mass amounts of people from flowing into the country, because I'm here to tell you it's not going to work out well for you. If you think it's just an easy ride, it's not. We want to welcome you into the country, but we also don't want to see you suffer or your children suffer, so do not come here. We ask you right now, please don't come here right now. This is a major issue, and it's dangerous. But we'll be trying to evaluate the situation going further. And once we devise all these plans and strategies and get through some of the other things we're working on, at some point I certainly would not be opposed to going to the border. You know what I mean? To see everything. Right now I get unbelievable reports from the border where I can review it. But yes, evaluating the border physically and being down there at some point is something, that we are definitely looking at doing. Next question. Or shorten that, whatever. How about the short? You want the short version of this?
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
We have so many strategies in place right now and reports coming from the border that we're working on those strategies and talking about how we can fix so many things and build upon what has worked well down there and looked at things that aren't working well to reevaluate those as well, because there are many concerns right now about the border and we're looking at it. And certainly I wouldn't be opposed to going down there and visiting or to evaluate or to make appearances. It's something that we are thinking about right now, but I can't give you a specific date. That's it. Why don't you say that? What's with this? I don't know what you. I don't know.
At some point, we are going to the.
I'm sorry, but at some point, what?
Border. We've been to the border. So
No, you haven't.
This whole.
So first it goes, oh, at some point we might go. I don't know, and then she all of a sudden changes and goes, we've been to the border. We've been to the border. I'm gonna Kamala Harris explain you now. No.
This whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
Keep saying it. It's not true. You can keep saying it over and over and over and over again. It's not going to make it true. It's not going to make it true. You keep saying it.
And I haven't border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
What? These people are fucking crazy. This is Shame on News, and you can't handle the news. Subscribe now.
Stay tuned for more news right here on Shame on News.
The people in Guatemala called her a scammer. The people in Guatemala know she's a scammer, but the American people elected her.